Yo guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be benchmarking Flight Simulator 2024 on PC, running an overclocked Asus Astral RTX 5080 graphics card and Ryzen 9 9950X 3D CPU. So we're going to be benchmarking New York City, Skyline, and Central Park. First, let's start off by showing you the graphics settings really quickly. So we're currently running a resolution of 3840 by 2160 on my 4K 154Hz display. We're running DLSS quality mode, which will put us at a 1440p render resolution, no frame generation, and as for the advanced graphics settings, everything is the ultra high preset with everything individually fully maxed out. And we do have ray trace shadows enabled with 158% level detail, and all the sea traffic and air traffic is all ultra settings. Alright, so we're going to, like I said, benchmark New York City. We're going to do 4K with DLSS quality mode. Then we'll lower down to 1440p with the DLSS quality mode. Then we'll try 1440p native, 1080p native, and then we may experiment with 4K and DLSS frame generation. We're in this beautiful Boeing 737 MAX, and like I said, we're going to check out the New York skyline. We will also do the cockpit views as well, which is obviously important for flight sim enthusiasts. And we'll see how the friends in place. Whenever I benchmark in New York, I always like to fly low over Central Park. It's a very heavy scene, a lot of foliage, so once we get over there, I'll mention that part. But so far, we seem to be averaging around 52 FPS, 1% low sitting at 24. Another reason I went to benchmark this title is I heard that the Ryzen 9 9950X 3D CPU does scale pretty well with this title. The extra cores does help. So we'll try to monitor the stats of the CPU as we fly here and see how everything runs in place. But enjoy the flight, and hopefully you won't have any crashes like the last video in terms of crashing into a building. So hopefully we'll avoid that and try to have a nice safe flight. But enjoy, guys. So here's the portion of Central Park that I like to fly nice and low over. All the foliage and trees and terrain and the little ponds or lakes, it takes a lot to render. And it's a very heavy scene to render on almost every single GPU I've tried, even the 4090 which I had prior. But it's a very heavy scene to render. So I do like to fly it nice and low and check out the scenery here at Central Park. But so far, this Asus Astral RTX 5080 graphics card has been performing nicely. Obviously, it's no 5090, but it is doing well for what it is and maintaining decent temperatures. And so far, I'm pretty happy with it, even though it's not 5090. But for now, at least it keeps me occupied with some videos, put out more benchmarks, and keep putting out content for you guys. Gotta remember to use the cockpit view as well. Throttle down a little bit here as we'll get the overspeed. Okay, so 4K with DLSS quality mode, we seem to be averaging around 48 FPS, max is 73 FPS, and 1% low sitting at 25. Just very briefly, let's turn on the frame generation just to see what puts that just very briefly. Oh, I guess it's not happy about that, so we'll turn on frame gen. Weird. Line up and wait. Okay, so let's not use frame generation at 4K, and then let's lower down the resolution of 1440p. Go ahead and apply that setting. And let's go to native resolution here. So we'll do DLA. Reset the afterburner. Now on my 4K screen, I do notice a noticeable decrease in picture quality. It still looks good for what it is, but for me, I'm kind of a graphics snob. Once I'm not in 4K resolution, I could immediately tell that the graphics take kind of textures at least look a little bit more blurrier in the buildings and stuff. But it does seem to run pretty nicely at 1440p native. Nice view of the One World Trade Center and the beautiful New York skyline. I'm going to reset the capture one more time here because it looks like we had some stutters. That way we get an accurate representation of how 1440p native runs. And then we'll briefly test 1440p native as well with, 1440p with DLSS quality mode. See how that runs in place. And we'll do the same little pathway. We'll fly over Central Park nice and low.
Brickyard 5680, Kennedy Tower. Altimeter 29902. Cleared ILS runway tree 1, right approach.
Throttle down some here.
Kennedy Tower, Frontier Flight 4872.
I like how on the windshield you can see some markings. I don't know if that's the sun rays or markings from the wiper blades, not sure. Kind of a realistic light effect though. Must be one of the ultra settings that affect the glass cockpit there.
ILS runway tree 1, right approach. Brickyard 5680.
Throttle up some here. Okay, so 1440p native, average around 45 FPS, 1% low sitting at 27, well now 26 with that stutter, and max FPS of 50. Now let's enable DLSS quality mode. Just going to briefly test DLSS quality mode, not going to do a long flyover just to see what FPS we maintain here. Shut the afterburner. I don't want to make this video too long. I'll reset it one more time here. Those dips bring the 1% lows down pretty quickly, so try to get an accurate representation of 1440p DLSS quality mode runs. Didn't really give us that much of a boost, honestly. I mean, 51 FPS max. 1% low there at 27, average FPS of 48. So really not too much of a difference there of DLSS quality mode. Alright, so now let's lower down to 1920 by 1080p. And let's go to DLA. And this is going to be a very CPU bound resolution here, so. Now it got really blurry on my screen for sure. And I'm trying to monitor the CPU here while I'm flying. Seems to be getting a little bit warmer, 59 degrees Celsius, pulling about 90 watts. Throttle down some here.
625, line up and wait.
And then very briefly at the end, I'm going to go back to 4K, and I want to see if I can try to get frame generation to run. I don't know why it didn't run. I don't know if it was because I was just had a heavy scene. But we'll give it one more go, because normally frame generation does run at 4K. But we'll give it another go once we get turned around here. Gonna fly nice and low here. Don't sink. Okay, so 1080p, we had a max of 51 FPS, 1% low, sitting at 30. Average FPS of 47. Got to throttle up some here. I love hearing the roar of those engines throttle on. I've always been so into aviation for so many years. I always like to hear the planes, see them in action. Alright, so then like I said, let's go back. I want to retest frame generation, so let's go back to 4K here. Apply. Keep changes. And let's try it with DLA really quickly, see if this runs this time. Yeah, I don't know why it's not running. That's so weird. Let's try it with quality mode. Yeah, I'm not sure if they changed something with the patch, but for some reason frame generation doesn't seem to be working, so it's unfortunate. So I guess we're gonna have to stick with let's just very briefly, since we're already here, let's go ahead and try DLA mode, see if that even runs. So native 4K, it says it's using up all the resources, but let's see what happens here. Looks nice, crisp and clear though. Reset the afterburner. So it does run. Not quite too good because we're almost using all the VRAM. But again, that shows you another limitation of 5080. With only 16 gigabytes of VRAM, it's really pushing the limit here. So 4K native, 4K native, 33 FPS max, 1% low sitting at 10, average of 30 FPS. So I'm gonna say if you're on a 5080, at least currently, just run DLSS Ultimate. It's gonna be your best bet. And for some reason, frame generation isn't running. I'm not exactly sure why. It used to run before, so I don't know if they broke the game with the patch or what. But anyways, guys, that gives you a good look at Flight Simulator 2024. Overall, performance fine. I mean, yeah, there's still some stutters, which is expected in this title. It's one of those titles that still needs some more optimization, I think, but it did run good for what it is. But if you did enjoy the video, do give this video a like. If you want to see more content like this, more Astral RTX 5080 gaming benchmarks, along with my Ryzen 9 950X 3D CPU, feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Appreciate the support. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see you guys for another video presentation soon enough. Later, guys. Peace out. Another big team Flight Simulator 2024 on PC. And I'll see you guys around. Thanks for watching. Peace out.